Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean. You are watching MLS Ireland does predictions for week 27. I think there's only about 9 or 10 weeks games to go, so stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much. Yes, my name is Sean and you're watching MLS Ireland does predictions, and if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me because I'm on 224. So I'm getting up there, and if you want to, go over and follow me on Twitch. I've only started that up about 2 months ago or something, and I got about 9 followers, so just go over there and just click that follow and all that kind of stuff. It would mean a lot to me. But anyway, there were 3 games on last night. One of them was like the Hudson River Derby. I kind of missed it because it was on quite late, because I had very early work in the morning, but I am kind of disappointed that I did get to miss it. But then I just figured out that there's another one on to Saturday night as well. So MLS, there's plenty of things to go. Anyway, as I was saying, there is about 9 weeks left to go, which is pretty sad. But then it goes into the business, the fun part, the playoffs. So I'm actually sort of looking forward to that. I think a lot of games now are kind of going to be on regular times. I think the MLS Cup is going to be on a Saturday, so that's even better. So it's getting better. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. And if you're new to this, as I said, get to be commenting below what you think the predictions are going to be. Even if you are not new to this, you're here before, put them in as well. So I might as well crack on with the first one, which is Philadelphia against Atlanta United. So Philadelphia at home, they're a bit mixed. Their record a bit at the moment. They've won 2, drew 1, and lost 1. So they've won 7 overall. It's not great. They're I was looking in the overall, and actually Atlanta, who started awful, are now above Philadelphia, the Cup champions, the Supporters Shield champions, basically. So how things can change in the MLS. But I don't think really anybody is really consistent. Like the best team the team who have lost the least are Nashville, and they've only lost 3. And then the team who are top lost 4, and then Sporting Kansas City lost 5, and Seattle lost 5. Colorado Rapids actually lost 4, which is pretty impressive as well. So I'll digress. These two teams actually lost 7. I think Atlanta have already played one more game because they have 9 draws, whereas Philadelphia have 8 draws, and both have 9 wins. Coming into this one, I'm thinking a wee bit more. It is going to be a trickier game. I think Atlanta coming into this one have a better form, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Philadelphia hasn't filled me with that they were the best team, so they're the champions basically to be winning this thing. They can still win the playoffs and win the MLS Cup, but they're very inconsistent at home and away. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. Atlanta should probably just nick a wee goal and frustrate the hell out of them. The next one is New England against Orlando. Again, Orlando lost their last 3 or 4 games? Well, sorry, they lost their last 3 games, which one was Philadelphia 3-1, and then they got beat at home against Montreal, and then lost to Atlanta 3-0, which, when you're thinking of the start of the season, that would have never happened. I think they do now get Nani back after suspension. Now, again, New England are top, and they're top for a reason. They beat Chicago last night, 3-2 away from home, but drew against Columbus. But then, have a steady. They're steady basically. So I kind of went for a 2-1 win. They're just basically they're more in form. Orlando in the last 4 away from home haven't won a game. They've lost their last 2 and drew 2. So they're not really having a great game. They're not having a great time of it all. But I do think with Nani back, they may nick a goal in this one, so I went for a 2-1 win to New England. Just, they're just the better team. New England they're top for a reason, and I think they may just nick. They've won the Supporters Shield, basically. It's easily to say. Next one is Columbus Crew against Montreal. Now, Columbus Crew are now 18th in the league. They're not all that great. They drew against New England at the weekend there, but then they beat New York Red Bulls, so they're starting to come into a bit of form. Now they're going to be at home against a Montreal team who are 9th in the league, and they beat Chicago Fire at home, then beat Orlando 4-2 away from home. So they're actually coming into this with a hell of a lot more better form. They are at home. Columbus Crew though, 2 teams kind of similar, home and away records to a certain extent. I think Montreal is probably edging it. I mean, on form, basically, not overall. But Columbus Crew against Montreal, I kind of go for like a Montreal 2-1 win. Columbus Crew are still... They've kind of won half their games at home, and they're not really filling me with a lot of hope. This could be a draw, but I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to Montreal. I just think they have more legs in the middle of the park, where Columbus Crew probably don't. So, yeah. The next one is DC United against FC Cincinnati. Now, if anybody said to me Philadelphia were actually doing quite well, and now they're back into mid-table, and now when you started the season, they started off quite badly, as DC United usually do. Then they just basically shot up, and not shot up, but they were starting to climb up, and then they kind of fell down. Now FC Cincinnati, who are third from bottom, they're not doing all that great. They're kind of losing a lot of games, and they're not really scoring many goals. In the last 6, they scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they scored 6 in the last 6 games, which is not overly great. And they didn't really play many. So they're coming up against the DC United team, who are coming into this not on red hot form, but they're in good form and better form than FC Cincinnati. So I went for what did I go for? A 3-1 win to DC United. As I said, better in form, probably better players, better. They're still a new team, FC Cincinnati, so DC United probably to be winning that one 3-1. The next one is what was that game like? New York against New York. This game's going to be in the Yankee Stadium. So, is it a home stadium? Is it a away stadium? So it's basically the Hudson River Derby. The New Jersey team against the homeless team. The homeless team is going to be at home technically, and in a baseball stadium in Yankee Stadium. I think this is probably the 8th or 9th game they've actually played there. So which is quite shocking when you think about it. But they're coming up against the New York Red Bull team, who the two of them teams last night drew, so 1-1. I heard a lot of talk about actually New York FC were probably the better team. So I'm going to go for a New York win. 2-1 win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to New York City FC. I did say that a lot in my last predictions. To New York City to win, but they're going to be at home. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. The next one is Colorado Rapids against Toronto. Now, Toronto won their last game quite annoyingly, because I predicted them to get actually beat by Nashville, even though they were at home. But they're coming up against the Colorado Rapids, who haven't lost a game in the last 6. Granted, a lot of them were draws. 1-1, 2-2, and 1-1 and all that kind of stuff. But they're coming up against a poor team. Let's be honest. I predicted 2-1. I do think Toronto could nick a goal on this one, but I think Colorado Rapids are probably just that better, and literally just that better. My phone just vibrated. The next one is Minnesota United against Houston Dynamo. Minnesota, how did they do? They actually have a good wee record at home at the moment currently. Houston Dynamo have a, let's say, what's the word? Let's see, just 1 second. Put this thing on mute. So yeah, Houston Dynamo haven't got a great record away from home, so that's pretty bleak. They haven't actually won a game basically. So I'm going to go for a Minnesota 1-0. Minnesota aren't scoring many goals, but I do think they're going to get the one in this one. So they're going to win this 1-0. So a 1-0 win to Minnesota. And the next one is San Jose Earthquakes against Los Angeles Football Club. Now these are two teams who aren't having a great season. San Jose Earthquakes in the last 4 haven't won a game at home. Los Angeles have won the one game away from home, which is pretty impressive. They do actually have a good wee had a good wee record there. Then they got beat by Portland. They're 16th in the league, and they're coming up against the San Jose Earthquakes. Actually won their last game, and that was against Austin 4-3. They got beat by Real Salt Lake 4-3. So yep, I'm kind of going into this one. I actually do think like Jose Moreno. The next one, I think San Jose won this one. I went for like a 2-1 win, just for the fact that they're at home. It's kind of like a Cal derby. I know that they're not the LA Galaxy, but still, I think they're going to get into this game maybe a bit more and actually give LAFC a run for their money. The next one is Vancouver Whitecaps against FC Dallas. Sorry. Now Dallas are starting to show their cracks. Basically, I always keep saying that they're a very good team. They were a very good team in the last moment. Now they're starting to. They got beat by Houston, so that just shows you. Now they're coming up against a Vancouver team who are 19th, who did have a very good run, but then they got beat by Colorado and Portland, but drew against Colorado and got beat by Portland. So I kind of went for like a 2-0 win to Vancouver. They're just a better team. FC Dallas are not in a great place at the moment, so I'm sticking with the 2-0. Vancouver should win this one quite easily. So the next one is Portland Timbers against Real Salt Lake. Now this one was actually quite an interesting one. Portland on their hand are now starting to show what they should have been doing at the start of the season. I think as all Eric's basically starting when he moved over there from New York, I think he made them good. So they're coming up against a Real Salt Lake team who are just one step behind him. Kind of similar form in the last 8. I think Real Salt actually lost 3 games, but haven't drew any and won 3. So, and let's see what their away record is. Portland probably have better form at home, so that's probably my prediction. I went for like a 3-2. I think this game could be an exciting one. I do think these two teams are going to score quite a few goals. Portland do score a lot of goals, but they concede a hell of a lot more as well, so I went for like a 3-2. I think that's going to be that one. The next one is Chicago Fire at home again against Nashville. I think this is Chicago Fire's second home game in about a month. So congratulations, you're going to see this a lot more at home. And they're going to coming up against a Nashville team who, can I say that they won last night? Who were they playing again? 5-1 against Inter Miami. It's not a bad result. I know Inter Miami are doing quite well, even though they got beat by Toronto the bloody week after that. And this is like their 4th game on the trot away from home. They are coming up against a Chicago Fire team. Funnily enough, I think Nashville have a better away record than Chicago Fire has a home record. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Nashville. They're just a better team. Chicago Fire are still. I know that it's their second game at home in quite a while, but I don't think they're going to win this one. I think Nashville will have this one in the bag. They're just a better defensive squad, and they're starting to score more goals, which is great to see. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1. And the second last one is Sporting Kansas City against Seattle Sounders. I'm kind of weirdly disappointed in Seattle Sounders, but I would assume they usually start slow and then finish perfectly. At this moment, they started off quite well, and now they kind of lost their way in the international break. Then they came back, and then they started playing well, and then they kind of cracked under the last. I don't know. I wonder if there's a link. But anyway, again, they're coming up against a Sporting Kansas City team who I think should be better at home, but their record in the last 8 aren't really giving me all that much hope as well. So Seattle have a better record away from home, where Sporting Kansas City have as well, but in overall they've won, what is it? They won 7, drew 5, and got the 1 defeat, whereas Seattle away from home won 7, drew 2, and lost 2, and in the last 4, Seattle have won 4, in the last 4, drew, won 3 times, lost 1. Whereas Sporting Kansas City drew twice, won twice. So I went for like a 2-2 draw. The two teams are very good. I'm expecting a lot of goals in this one. This can go in either way, so I just kind of went down straight through the middle and went for like a 2-2 draw because I'm lazy. I'm scared. The next one and the last one is Austin FC against LA Galaxy. I think that kind of rhymed as well. They all rhyme. Now, away from home, LA Galaxy have a better record than Austin. Granted, Austin this is their first game in the first season in the league. It's been a long take, it's been 14 minutes already in. They're not bottom. They're actually above Toronto, which is pretty impressive. 1 point granted, but still. And they're coming up against an LA Galaxy team who have Chicharito back. They're 8th in the league. They haven't got a great record in the last 8. They actually haven't won a game in the last 8, home or nor away. But I do think they're going to win this one. I went for like a 2-0 win to LA Galaxy. Just for the fact is, Austin are second to bottom for a reason, and LA Galaxy are not. Surprisingly, after like 2 years, you would have said they would have been last. But anyway, those are my predictions. Hope you enjoyed them. If you want to, as I said, if you made it this far, hit down the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and I hope to see you midweek on Twitch. Bye now.